Revit 2022 provides enhancements to RPCs to improve visualization workflows. Revit now supports the new RPC 2.0 file format, which display complex, high-resolution geometries, physical-based materials and lighting, and more intelligent ways to control the asset parameters. Experience the improved performance of realistic views with options to switch off all the RPCs in the model and/or display the orientation in billboard mode towards the camera. Additional features include a simplified representation of RPCs in non-render views, support for the furniture category in the family editor, and an expanded library of rendering assets, including people, transportation, and furniture. Create better photorealistic renderings with the new RPC enhancements in Revit 2022. Make faster and more informed design decisions with the new enhancements to generative design in Revit 2022. Revit 2022 ships with new out-of-the-box sample study types that helps you optimize the distribution of objects in space. This includes grid object placements, step grid object placement, and randomized object placement. Expedite generative design studies with a new option for saving default settings, including default method, number of solutions, and seed value. Find your input values faster with the new drop-down input selection list. Drop-down nodes in your Dynamo graph can be set as inputs for an improved user experience. Set your input values as constants or variables in the study settings. Use a slider to define the constant value. Visually differentiate constant inputs from variables in the parallel coordinates chart, where the constant value is plotted on a vertical dashed line. Organize and share study types easily with the new options to consolidate your studies using custom folder path. Explore the improved Generative Design Tools panel in Dynamo, which offer a streamlined, error-free study publishing experience. Resolve missing packages automatically, receive alerts for issues in the graph, and detect missing remember nodes. Achieve better design outcomes with these enhancements to generative design in Revit 2022.
In Revit 2022, you can choose to display grid lines in your 3D views. Go to the Show Grids parameter in the Properties palette to access a list of levels for your project. Select the levels for which you want grid lines to display. This setting applies to all grids in your project, but only the grids that intersect the selected levels will appear in this view. You can resize grid extents in a 3D view using grips. You can also control the annotation visibility for each grid using the corresponding checkbox next to each grid end. When you hover over a grid, its plane highlights as a blue planar vertical surface. If you select the grid, in-canvas controls will appear, and its properties will display in the Properties palette. In a 3D view, you can treat grids in many of the same ways as in a 2D view. For example, you can hide grids by element, category, or filter, or by using the Visibility Graphics Overrides dialog. You can display grids using halftone. You can copy, cut and paste, or delete grids from the model. You can snap to grids when placing other elements. You can change grid instance and type properties. If you want to hide part of your model, you can create a 3D section box. As you can see, the grid lines do not extend beyond the bounding box, making it easier to navigate this portion of your model. With Revit 2022, you can display and utilize grids in 3D views to help you orient yourself and navigate your model.
Revit 2022 displays FormIt as a supported file format in the Import CAD options. The FormIt Converter plugin has been superseded with a new built-in high-performance functionality. Import XAM files with preserved materials, layers, and group definitions. The material properties from FormIt are transferred to Revit and grouped under a new filter category in the Materials library. FormIt layers are preserved and controlled via Visibility Graphics. If levels are present in the FormIt models, they will translate as Revit levels. Experience an improved conceptual design workflow with the new FormIt import features in Revit 2022.
In Revit 2022, a new default pastel color scheme has been added. Previously, the default color scheme used darker, bolder colors which could obscure other elements in the view. The scheme has been updated to use lighter pastel colors to alleviate this issue. This feature enables users to achieve better results using color fill schemes without the need for manual color adjustments, thus improving their productivity. In Revit 2022, you can use filters to quickly find available parameters when creating schedules and working with project parameters. When you create a schedule, the Fields tab in the Schedule Properties dialog includes a filter section. You can filter the available parameters based on the following criteria: parameter name, parameter type, discipline, value, type, or instance. You can use the parameter name filtering criteria as a search tool. As you type in the parameter name search field, the list is actively filtered. When filtering a schedule, the filter only affects the available fields. Fields selected for use in the schedule are not affected by the filter. You can also use information in the tooltips to help identify the correct parameter to work with. Tooltips display parameter name, parameter type, data type, and description if provided. The filtering tool also appears in the Project Parameters dialog. Revit 2022 enables you to easily filter and identify the types and characteristics of parameters being used in your projects, helping you manage them more accurately and efficiently.
Revit 2021 introduced the Shared Views feature for 3D views. In Revit 2022, this feature has been enhanced to include 2D views and sheets. This means you now have the ability to share both 2D and 3D views of your Revit model with project stakeholders who do not have access to the software. From the Collaborate tab on the ribbon, select Shared Views to launch the Shared Views palette. When you are ready to share your current view, press the new Shared View button, name your view, and press the Share button. A notification will appear to confirm that the view is processing. Once this has completed, a second notification will provide you with options to copy the link or view in the browser. A confirmation email will also be sent. You may then share the link with project stakeholders. They will have the ability to view, comment, and mark up the shared 2D or 3D view using the Autodesk viewer in their web browser. Back in Revit, you can click the refresh button in the Shared Views palette at any time to view the latest comments and other information. The Shared Views feature makes it easy for you to share 2D and 3D views of your Revit model across the project team.
Revit 2022 introduces expanded functionalities that better integrate Revit with FormIt Pro. Translate Revit elements seamlessly into a FormIt Pro session using the new 3D sketch functionality. Continue exploring and tweaking your design using the fluid, intuitive modeling capabilities of FormIt. Send FormIt geometry directly into Revit. FormIt materials are preserved seamlessly as Revit materials. Using visibility graphics, control the display of FormIt layers. Improve iterative design exploration workflows with the seamless integration of FormIt Pro with Revit 2022.
In Revit 2022, structural engineers can automate the placement of steel connections following custom sizing rules by predefining connection libraries and associating connection types with profile size ranges applicable to them. The first step is for you to create a library of steel connections. In this library, you can add a variety of connection types and specify ranges where they will be applicable. Tooltips are provided for the buttons in the Edit Connection Range of Applicability dialog to guide you as you fill out this information. These ranges of applicability can be based on your local practices and standards, and they are intended to help you save time when placing simple steel connections. Once you have configured your library, you can open your Revit project and begin using your predefined rules to place steel connections automatically. Start Dynamo Player and open the steel connection sample scripts provided with Revit 2022. Look for the sample scripts with names ending in by ranges, as these utilize the ranges of applicability. For example, you might use the Beam to Columns by Ranges script to insert clip angle connections automatically in your 3D model that follow the rules saved in your library. Window select the steel members in your Revit model to be connected. Then locate the library file to be used by the rule and press the play button in the Dynamo Player to create the steel connections. The connections are automatically inserted in your project, and the correct types are selected in accordance with the ranges of applicability. A list of the connections created in this step is found at the bottom of the Dynamo Player. Single plate connections, shear end plate connections, clip angles, base plates, column splices, and many other connections that are typically pre-designed and standardized can be placed faster and more accurately using this approach. Revit 2022 helps structural engineers place steel connections quickly and accurately using automated tools and predefined ranges of applicability for profile sizes.
Autodesk Revit 2022 adds an auto shading option in two-column panel schedules. This feature adapts to the phases being used. Unused phases will automatically display in gray on the panel schedule. This will reduce the number of panel schedule templates required for a project, simplifying your project setup and management. The number of rows exceeding the maximum number of breakers are also automatically shaded. This new feature in Revit 2022 helps simplify panel schedule template setup and management on your electrical projects. Revit 2022 offers improvements to the Design to Fabrication tool. In previous releases of Revit, justified transitions and non-centered taps would be removed in the conversion of design intent elements to fabrication parts. With Revit 2022, these fabrication parts are correctly placed in the same location as the design intent elements when using design to fabrication. This tool has been optimized to support branch offsets, justifications, and equipment mapping without dependency of design lines. On the MEP Fabrication Part Browser, Group has been renamed to Palette. Performance has been improved when reloading configurations. Quick Connect lets you fill a gap between a fitting and another straight section. Dragging end connectors on straight sections in a fabrication layout will auto-fill connections, regardless of size. The Route and Fill tool can be used to add parts between two open connectors quickly and easily. One or more solutions will be suggested, depending on the service. These improvements make the Design to Fabrication tool faster, more accurate, and more efficient in Revit 2022.
Revit 2022 enables you to edit the wall profile of slanted walls. Modify the sketch boundaries of a slanted wall along its work plane. This gives you greater control over the display of your wall geometry.
Revit 2022 enables worksets to be scheduled. You can now add a workset parameter when creating a schedule in work-shared models. The workset parameter is also available when creating material takeoffs, view lists, sheet lists, and title blocks. This feature enables you to filter and format schedules and lists based on your worksets. Revit 2022 includes this and many other enhancements to improve your productivity when generating schedules and documentation.
Revit 2022 introduces expanded functionalities that better connect Revit with Rhino. Link Rhino files directly to Revit to accelerate your project documentation. Changes to the Rhino file are immediately updated in Revit by reloading the link or reopening the project. Host and link your conceptual Rhino file in Autodesk Docs and ensure all stakeholders have access to the latest and greatest design information. Streamline your design exploration and documentation processes with improved interoperability with Rhino in Revit 2022.
Revit 2022 improves the behavior of tags in host models that reference elements in linked models. Tags in a host model that are attached to elements in a linked model will now remember the linked element ID. If a linked file is unloaded or out of date, the tag may be orphaned. However, when the linked file is reloaded, the tag will now reattach to the linked element automatically. This feature improves productivity for linked model annotation workflows.
Load Autodesk Family opens a dialog that displays default content provided by Autodesk. This content is accessed from a cloud-based repository. In Revit 2022, the Load Autodesk Family tool is no longer a technology preview, and it adds a navigation elements to help you find the families to load into your model. These include sequential search facets with back, forward, and home buttons to assist you navigate through the available content. The node you are currently browsing is highlighted to help you understand its location in the organizational structure. This feature helps users find the right family content more quickly, improving user productivity.
In Revit 2022, Systems Analysis has added new features that give you access to better information. It is now possible to enable Use Rooms or Spaces in the Energy Setting dialog to view the energy analytical model in Revit. Workflows for exporting GBXML have been consolidated into a new dialog. You are now able to view HVAC loads and psychrometric reports on a single screen. After running a simulation on a systems analysis model, view engineering checks to quickly perform QA/QC on multiple systems. Reports show a breakdown of load components, totals for equipment sizing, a psychrometric chart, and detailed psychrometric state point properties in a printable format. Systems analysis in Revit 2022 enables improved viewing of the energy analytical model, has streamlined GBXML exporting, and provides better reporting in a consolidated printable format.
In Revit 2022, Rebar detailers can model bars using their real diameters, including their ribs, helping them to avoid clashes in concrete elements containing many large diameter bars. Rebar constraints, distances to the concrete cover, bar geometry, and segment lengths are now computed using the model bar diameter parameter. This new feature improves user efficiency in modeling accurate concrete reinforcement. Revit 2022 improves rebar modeling and detailing for structural engineers and detailers, making it easier for you to move from disconnected CAD workflows to BIM and enabling you to model and detail faster and more accurately. You can now move or remove individual bars in rebar sets or area and pad reinforcement systems to avoid clashes with other rebars, openings, or other elements, while maintaining the logic of the rebar set or system. There is no need to split a set into multiple sets or to remove pad and area reinforcement systems, workflows that were complex and time-consuming. Multiple sets or systems can be edited at the same time. This new feature will significantly improve your efficiency and productivity in modeling accurate reinforcement in cast-in-place and precast concrete structures.